Unsolved Mysteries, The Haunting Case of Elisa Lam. The story of the death of Elisa Lam is a haunting and mysterious one, full of twists and turns that keep the audience on the edge of their seats. Welcome to our channel, where we explore the mysteries and the unexplained. Today we're delving into the case of Elisa Lam, a young woman whose death at the infamous Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles has captivated the world. From the bizarre elevator footage that captured her last known moments to the many theories and rumors that surround her death, this is a story that will chill you to the bone. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for a deep dive into one of the most puzzling cases of our time. Lam, a student at the University of British Columbia who is the daughter of immigrants from Hong Kong, was enrolled at the time of 2013, although she had not yet registered. In her pursuit of adventure and exploration, Lam embarked on a journey that led her to the heart of Los Angeles. She found herself standing before the first 5 levels of a city-owned tan brick structure. There are awnings on its lower windows and a fire escape is on the right. A sizable shelter above the street-facing entrance bears the words Hotel Cecil in black type on a yellow backdrop. White cars and tiny trucks are parked on the street in front of the house. Lam started a blogspot blog called Ether Fields in the middle of 2010. She uploaded descriptions of her life, particularly her battle with mental illness, along with images of models wearing trendy attire over the course of the following 2 years. In a blog post from January 2012, Lam bemoaned having to abandon numerous classes due to a relapse at the start of the current academic year, which had left her feeling completely disoriented and without any sense of purpose. She used a quote from author Chuck Palahniuk as inspiration for the title of her post. "You're always plagued by the feeling that you're wasting your life." She utilized that passage as the blog's epigraph. Lam was concerned that having so many withdrawals on her transcript would appear suspicious and prevent her from being able to continue her studies and enroll in graduate school. After posting for just over 2 years, Lam made the decision to switch to Nouvelle Nouveau, a new blog she had created on Tumblr. The majority of its posts were fashion photographs, inspirational quotes, and some of Lam's own writings. The epigraph also featured a Palahniuk quote. Both depression and bipolar disorder had been identified in Lam. She'd received prescriptions for Wellbutrin, lamotrigine, quetiapine, dexedrine, Spansil, and venlafaxine to treat her mental health difficulties. Lam had no history of suicidal thoughts or attempts, according to her family, who apparently kept her mental illness a secret. However, one account suggested Lam had once briefly vanished. As Lam had a history of skipping doses for her bipolar meds, she frequently experienced hallucinations that led her to seek sanctuary under her bed. At least once during one of these episodes, she was hospitalized. Lam used Amtrak and inner-city buses to travel alone to California. She went to the San Diego Zoo and shared images from her experience online. She arrived in Los Angeles on January 26. She stayed at the Cecil Hotel, which is close to downtown's Skid Row, for 2 days. Lam was initially given a shared room on the 5th floor of the hotel, but after 2 days her roommates complained about what the hotel's attorney would later describe as some peculiar conduct, and Lam was transferred to a room on her own. At the time of Lam's disappearance, Amy Price, the manager of the Cecil Hotel and Stay on Main, claimed that Lam was leaving messages for her roommates, telling them to go home and leave, and that she would lock the door to the room and demand a password for admittance. Lam attended a live taping of Conan in Burbank a few days prior to going missing, but owing to her behavior, security had to take her out of the building. Up until the day she vanished, Lam made regular phone calls to her parents in British Columbia while she was abroad. Her family went to Los Angeles to assist with the search on January 31st, 2013, the day she was supposed to check out of the Cecil and depart for Santa Cruz. When her parents didn't hear from her, they contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. Lam was by herself, according to hotel personnel who saw her that day. The only person who remembered seeing her that day was Katie Orphan, manager of the Last bookstore outside the hotel. Orphan told CNN that she was gregarious, animated, and outgoing while receiving things to give to her family. Orphan explained that she was discussing the book she would be purchasing, as well as whether or not it would be too heavy for her to carry while traveling. The motel was investigated by police to the fullest extent permitted by law. Dogs were used to search Lam's room and the entire building, including the rooftop, but they were unable to find her smell. Sergeant Rudy Lopez later remarked, "But we didn't check every room. We could only do that if we had reasonable cause to believe a crime had been committed." The LAPD decided that additional assistance was required on February 6th, 1 week after Lam had been last seen. This puzzling scenario, along with Lam's enigmatic return to the elevator, where the doors inexplicably refused to close, left an indelible mark. The security footage of her behavior was widely circulated, and in its first 10 days, it received 3 million views and 40,000 comments on the Chinese video sharing website Youku. It disturbed several of the commentators to watch. To explain her conduct, various explanations have surfaced. One of them was that Lam was attempting to maneuver the elevator vehicle so she could flee a person who was pursuing her. Some speculated that she might be using ecstasy or another party drug, but none were found in her system. As her bipolar diagnosis was made public, the idea that she was experiencing a psychotic episode also gained traction. Some viewers contended that the video had been altered before it was released. They asserted that in addition to the timestamp being obscured, some of the video had been sped up, and nearly a minute of it had been cut out. It's possible that this was done to conceal the name of someone who would otherwise appear in the video, whether or not they were connected to the disappearance. Guests at the hotel started to gripe about the weak water pressure while Lam was being sought. Some people afterwards said their water was dark in color and tasted strange. The body of Lam was discovered on the morning of February 19th by Santiago Lopez, a hotel maintenance worker, in one of the 4 1,000-gallon tanks that served the hotel's kitchen, coffee shop, and guest rooms. Lam could be seen face up in the water through the open hatch. Since the maintenance hatch was too narrow to fit tools required to remove Lam's body, the tank was drained and cut open. The Los Angeles coroner's office announced on February 21st that the victim had drowned accidentally, with bipolar disorder playing a significant role. Lam's body was discovered naked, and clothing that resembled what she was wearing in the elevator footage was floating in the water and covered in sand-like particles, according to the full coroner's report, which was made public in June. She was also discovered with her watch and a room key. Lam's body was bloated and just slightly decayed. The majority of it was greenish, with some marbling and skin separation visible on the abdomen. No signs of physical harm, sexual assault, or suicide were present. Testing for prescription pharmaceuticals found in her possessions, as well as over-the-counter medicines, including Sinutab and ibuprofen, were detected. There was a very minor amount of alcohol, 0.02 g%, but no other substances used for recreational purposes. The concentration of her prescribed pharmaceuticals in her system, according to investigators and specialists, suggested that she was either under-medicating or had recently stopped taking her meds. Although the investigation had established how Lam had passed away, it had not previously provided an explanation for how she had entered the tank. Only staff members have the passcodes and keys to the locked doors and stairs that lead to the hotel's roof, and any attempt to force them would ostensibly have set off an alarm. The hotel's fire escape could have allowed her to bypass those security measures. Her scent trail was lost near a window that connected to it. A video posted to the internet after Lam's death showed that the hotel's roof was easily accessible via the fire escape, and that 2 of the lids of the water tanks were open. Some questioned whether she could have entered the tank on her own, in addition to how she got on the roof. There was no fixed access to the 4 tanks, so hotel staff had to climb a ladder to view the water. Each tank was a 4 by 8 foot cylinder supported on concrete blocks. Heavy lids that would be challenging to replace from the inside served as their protection. The question of how she could have closed the lid from inside was answered by the hotel employee who discovered the body. She said that the lid was open at the time. Shortly after her disappearance was reported, police dogs searched the hotel and the roof for Lam but found nothing. She may have taken unique combinations of such substances that a typical screen would not pick up on, or they may have broken down over the time her body decomposed in the tank, according to proponents of the argument that the elevator footage demonstrates she was under the influence of illegal narcotics. The amount of pills still in her prescription bottle and the extremely low level of prescription medicines in her system suggested she was either under-medicating or had recently stopped taking her bipolar disorder medication, which might have caused a psychotic episode. On the basis of the lacking details, the autopsy report and its conclusions were also called into question. For instance, it's not specified whether the fingernail and rape kits were processed or even what the results of those kits were. It also shows subcutaneous blood accumulating in Lam's anal region, which some observers speculated was an indication of sexual assault. However, one pathologist pointed out that it might have simply been caused by bloating during the body's decomposition, and her rectum was also prolapsed. The pathologists for the coroner had mixed feelings about their determination that Lam's death was an accident. Her Tumblr blog has been updated since her passing, most likely thanks to Tumblr's Q feature, which enables entries to go live automatically when the user isn't online. Neither her corpse nor her hotel room included her phone, which was missing. It is unknown whether the ongoing changes to her blog were made possible by the theft of her phone, a hacker, or the Q. It is also unknown whether the updates are connected to her passing. In September 2013, Lam's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit, alleging that the hotel neglected to look for risks that posed an improbable chance of harm to Lam and other hotel guests, and asking for an undetermined amount in damages as well as burial expenses. The hotel contended that as it was still unclear how Lam gained access to the water tank, no blame could be placed on it for failing to take reasonable precautions to prevent Lam from entering. The lawsuit was dismissed in 2015. Thanks for joining us as we explored the mysterious death of Elisa Lam. We hope that our investigation has shed some light on this perplexing case and left you with some new insights and questions to ponder. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing mysteries and true crime stories. And if you have any theories or information on the Elisa Lam case, please let us know in the comments below. Remember, the world is full of unsolved mysteries, and it's up to us to keep searching for the truth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.